Good afternoon, everyone. Our distinguished panelists, guests, industry leaders, uh, and I think very importantly, the award winners of today who are going to be recognized after this, immediately after this. Let me first thank the Global Energy and Environment Foundation for inviting me to this event. As I was mentioning, this is the first time I'm joining them for this event, and I'm very happy to be here. I'm also very happy that this is an event where, and this particularly this session, where the environment and safety champions of India are going to be recognized by us. And I think that's something which is very important. You know, you heard the experts before me. I think you've been there since morning discussing various aspects of clean energy and environment. As far as India is concerned, as far as the world is concerned, I think it's a very pivotal moment. We always had this trade-off. Many of you have read economics, and otherwise also you must have experienced it. When you in economics, it's a trade-off. You have to decide this, or you have to decide that. You have to choose among two maybe equally attractive options sometime, and therefore, or choose between two unattractive options, which you don't want to, but you have to. Um, you know, Either you could have had earlier, as experience shows, as the history has evolved, especially in the last 50, 70 years. Either you have economic growth or you save the environment. This is kind of has been the biggest trade-off in the last many decades, especially at least in my lifetime. I'm sure it is gathered pace, but I'm sure it was there before my lifetime also. I think this is this moment is important because we realize that this was a myth. This trade-off is a myth. We can work simultaneously on both, and that is what we have to find a way. We found a way. We found a way to do that, and I think that is why this moment is important. And this is now we've already begun on that journey, India and the world, and therefore it has become important for us. In the Indian context, the journey from clean energy to clean growth is also no longer a philanthropic choice. I think it's a great industrial opportunity for in our lifetime. We are not only lowering emissions. When you talk about clean energy as part of your theme for the event, we are not only lowering emissions, we are re-engineering the DNA of our economy to be the most resilient, competitive, and sustainable. And that's in combination. That's what we want. We've heard about net zero. We must have discussed about it. It was there in the previous speakers also, the words. Now, when we talk about net zero, when the Honorable Prime Minister announced net zero for India for 2070, it seemed very distant. But the fact is, it is going to be a series of intermediate steps. You just cannot hold on for another 40 years, enjoy our life, and spend our green resources and say, okay, now we're in 2065, and therefore let's go. And now coming to 2070, let's go and achieve it. It is going to be a very, very small steps, but all leading to 2070. Only then we will achieve net zero. As Bhaktavya mentioned, maybe we do it earlier than 2070. That would be our ideal way to do it. Of course, our overall goal is 2070, but we would like to do it as fast as possible. So we want a series of small, small steps. And all that you are doing, and people are going to be recognized today in those awards, are basically these small steps. We also had a myth that again, something that we've talked about, I'm sure debated in various rooms, in discussions, that green also means, expensive. Or maybe if you go the green route, it's going to be slow for our progress. I think how we have progressed on India's clean energy is a testament to the fact that despite our massive expansion in renewable energy and otherwise decarbonization steps that we have taken, our economic growth remains resilient. We are the fastest growing, remain the fastest growing economy in the world. We may not be double digit as we were there earlier, but it's going to be a natural consequence. The larger, simple math, if the base keeps growing, obviously the growth becomes harder, and therefore the percentage is going to be even 7% now is better than overall growth is more than what 9%, 10% we were doing earlier, if you look at the overall numbers. And therefore, we feel, and I'm of the view that the next decade of India's growth would be fueled by electrons and not carbon. And you can see it happening, and you are all part of you are all part of this journey because you are doing that in your individual lives, in individual things that you are doing. As far as India's leadership is concerned, you're well aware we're already the third largest producer of solar. We are the third largest solar capacity holder in the world. Overall, we are fourth largest for overall renewable energy. In wind also, we are number 4, but we expect to move pretty fast. The way we are adding capacity now every year, and the way some of the other nations are slowing down, not all, but some of them slowing down, we should overtake many of them in that. And we have actually become, moved, let me put it that way, from being a participant in this journey, the world's journey to clean energy, to one of the pace setters. And that's going to be important because people are looking at us when they are trying to see how a developing nation can expand clean energy while adhering to its developmental goals. When we talk about, again, I'm going back to the theme of this event. When we talk about catalyzing, how do we catalyze to reach a net zero world? What we are talking about is a total transformation. From clean energy and the way that we are progressing, what we want to do is to become from an energy dependent nation, we want to be an energy independent nation, as fast as we can. Every solar panel, every wind turbine, every green hydrogen plant is going to help our economy from the volatility of global fuel prices. And the volatility. You can see how it, every moment it changes, something happens, some news, and oil, gas, and the rest of so many other things keep the volatility you can see. And therefore, we feel that our ecosystem is going to shield us from that volatile prices. Clean energy is also a growth multiplier. And let's look at it. It's not only something, it's not a cost to the balance sheet. It can produce growth, it can be a multiplier for that. And therefore, we must recognize its contribution to, the creating jobs in India, not only in the businesses that you're in, but also in India overall. Every gigawatt of clean energy will create thousands of jobs in manufacturing, installation, and digital grid management. Manufacturing, you may think that making solar PV panels by robotics, the way the plants are operating, you need very less people, yes, but you need many people in more people in R&D, more people in installation, more people in operations, more people in cleaning the panels, keeping it clean. As Dr. Rehan mentioned, once his technology, the future technologies come in, maybe we not need that much of labor, but right now we do need, and that's creating jobs. Of course, green hydrogen, there was in the last session I was seeing that there was a question on, on focus on green hydrogen as well. It will not only help in, creating green electrons, but also in storing and transforming energy, green energy for decarbonizing our heavy industry, steel, cement, shipping. I'm not talking about aviation at the moment, but aviation will happen. Sustainable aviation fuel was also mentioned in the last presentation. So clean energy is going to allow India to build, and is already doing so, a sustainable, resilient supply chain. As we know, we have our capacity of manufacturing has increased substantially. It has actually multiplied so much that we are very confident that we can not only produce for India, manufacture for India, but we can supply to the world, not only in solar PV modules, but also in wind turbines, and hopefully soon in battery manufacturing as well. Of course, we are also want to do the entire value chain. Not only modules, now the cells capacity is growing. We also want to add ingots and wafers. We also want to do polysilicon. So we want to do the entire value chain. We really do not want to be dependent on any aspect of what we produce. I think another aspect, I think the final aspect that I wanted to talk about is that the clean energy must be inclusive. It must help. It must bring everybody together. It must be beneficial to as many parts of our economy as our and every person in India, every citizen of India must be benefited in some way or the other. And therefore, it should not only power the rural India and the hinterland, but it also power the MSMEs. It should bring jobs. It should bring some skill development and everything. And that is why we don't want it to be a sector which only, which is only high-tech kind of a thing, which only benefits a section of the population. And that's something which is very important as far as clean energy is concerned. We have often talked about net zero as a mathematical equation, carbon in, carbon out. That is what we want to do. But looking at, I was looking at the list of 37 awardees of today across so many sectors of the economy. And what I actually see is the human element in this net zero. You are actually the winners, the companies and the individuals who have been involved in what you've done in your enterprise is a proof that environment and the safety are drive competitive advantage rather than being considered as a cost element for you, for your companies. I think as we present these awards, we aren't just celebrating trophies. We are actually going to be celebrating the blueprints for India's cleaner industrial future. I think it's very important to consider it from that aspect. I think I must also say that, catalysts mentioned in our theme of the event are actually the winners. They represent these catalysts for India in this net zero target that we have. You have demonstrated that safety and sustainability are the kind of rails that you travel on always, and that's something which is very important. I also saw some service industry in the list of awardees, and whether it's made in India or serviced in India or service provided in India, I think it's something that we need to look at from the safety aspect is that we are responsible for what we make. We are also responsible for the services that we provide, and therefore I think the responsibility is coming into our behavior, our actions when we are living in that, when working towards whatever we are doing. I think at the end, let me just mention that net zero is a marathon. It is not a 100 meters or a 200 meters race. I think so many aspects, and it's something, again, when I say marathon is usually, a single person. who runs and say, I have completed a marathon. This is not, this is a marathon for the entire country. It's a marathon for the entire world. If the world has to get to net zero, everybody has to get to net zero. Parts of it, and parts of either the country, some individuals, not everybody, some countries, not the others. This is not the way, this is not really will help us achieve net zero. We might get to a smaller carbon emission number. We may get to a smaller carbon emission number, but I think practically, overall, I think our net zero, I think would need that everybody must go together. And I think with these words, I would like to congratulate again all the winners, all the awardees for today, and just end by saying that India is not only participating in this the new green revolution. Though there was an earlier green revolution, now we're actually getting to maybe a greener revolution. I think we are also positioned to be among the leaders in this through a synergy of both clean energy and clean growth. We want to build a nation that is both prosperous as well as pristine for our future generations. Thank you so much for your patience.